welcome to the midweek wrap up. Do you actually want to talk? You can just pull the thing, grab it, pull.
Oh, hey.
All right.
So you didn't hear anything I said?
Well, luckily there's subtitles. So.
Okay, good.
But we're talking about the midweek wrap up. We're gonna start off with the main event like we usually do, and we open up with a promo from the Vaudevillains. Really just hammer away the fact that they were the ones that beat down the New Day, and even though they walked away as the club did most of the work on Raw.
Single-handedly.
Yes, single-handedly as a team.
Single-handedly, they mind-controlled the club. Had them attack the nudie.
But then they are interrupted by Enzo and Cass, who then go on their own little promo tirade, and Gotch...
Nothing little about the way fucking Enzo...
True. Yeah, Cass had to calm Enzo down. Enzo was losing a little bit, but then Gotch had the line of the night with, "Do you remember what happened last time we were in the ring together at Payback?" It's not a rhetorical question. Seriously, do you remember? And that's what set Enzo off. Enzo just went at it from that point on.
Yeah.
But this sets up our first match. We had a tag team match, the match that we were supposed to get at Payback, and this match was good. I wish we would have gotten the full match at Payback. It probably would have been awesome, pay-per-view worthy. But just fantastic chemistry because they've worked so much down in NXT, and then they had tag team feuds forever. But Enzo and Cass end up picking up the win after Cass goes on just a run through of both members of
his
the
typical hot tag.
Yeah, knocks down Aiden English, tosses Gotch out, ends up booting him off of the apron, and him taking a flat back bump off of the apron. Then tagging in Enzo, hitting the air Enzo on Aiden English, and Enzo and Cass pick up the win. Then we had Victor still all by himself taking on Zack Ryder. Another good, solid match between guys that don't get nearly enough TV time.
Yay, brand extension.
Though they are doing a good job with Zack Ryder now. He's been on TV consistently almost this entire year.
Yeah.
So, I'm liking it.
I'm saying Victor for U.S. champion.
I'm totally okay with that. Victor joins the I Beat Rusev Club?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hell yeah.
Well, he didn't join the I Beat Zack Ryder Club because Zack Ryder did, in fact, beat him with the elbow drop.
Yeah, that's alright. You get him next time, Victor.
Yeah.
Someday.
And that day I'll commonly be like, "Oh, wait, Connor's back." You guys go back to jobbing to other tag teams.
Where are the Dudley Boys?
Then we had Summer Rae cutting a promo.
Good, we needed somebody else.
Everybody was like jumping on the New Day train on this main event because she was taking the shtick from their bit with Shane and Stephanie on Raw. Like, what brand is Summer Rae gonna show up on? Is it gonna be?
Yeah, she was trying to make it seem like where she was gonna go is like some sort of hot topic of discussion.
Yeah, whether it was gonna be summertime on Raw or if it was gonna be hot on SmackDown. Yes, she said SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Luckily, she's
part of that new error.
Luckily, she was interrupted by Sasha Banks, making her TV return. And these two end up going at it. They had some good matches down in NXT. This was a good match, too.
Wasn't bad. Dolph Ziggler was on commentary, which added a lot to this match.
It added a lot, but I still went, why? Like, did he make
such a good job
He made such an impression that they're like, we need Dolph Ziggler on commentary again.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I was expecting there to be another match with Baron Corbin, and there wasn't. He just commentated the women's match. So, but it was
just
good.
so him and King could make a lot of inappropriate jokes.
And they did. Let's just get Dolph Ziggler and King as the SmackDown commentators.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll get rid of Michael Cole, and we'll put Morrow on Raw with JBL and Byron. Anyway, Summer Rae...
If Raw gets a 3-person team, SmackDown needs a 3-person team.
Nah.
They get Funaki.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I just figure it's...
Funaki, King, and Ziggler.
Yes. That's what I want for the brand extension. If you want me to believe in this brand extension,
that's gonna be a fucking shocker. Is like second draft pick if they do the randomized draft pick like they did every year since like the first year.
Yeah.
That like SmackDown wins the next pick and it's Funaki. They win him from the Japan commentary team.
Anyway,
apparently they're in the draft too.
Summer would attempt another one of her spinning wheel kicks, whatever it is. Sasha would actually catch it and trip her up, and then set up the bank statement, getting Summer Rae to tap out with both hands.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was going on. She knew she needed to get out of that situation. Then we move on to NXT, where we open up with a promo.
So I wasn't sure what side the ref was on.
We open up with a promo from a tag team, former NXT tag team champ. I see a pattern here. This would be Dash and Dawson, the Revival,
boys.
talking about how they are going to reclaim their NXT tag team championships next Wednesday at NXT Takeover when they face American Alpha.
That's happening.
And Gargano and Ciampa are like,
my other boys.
They're like, no, you're not.
That would work Gargano than Ciampa.
Because it's been proved that American Alpha is better than you guys, and if you guys can't beat them, we're even pretty sure you can't beat us.
Which is why, you know what? I'm gonna save it for the end.
Okay. So this ends up turning into a fight between both teams, and the challenge is set, and our main event match of NXT will be that tag team match. But before we get to our first match, we actually had Nakamura getting an interview in the back. The new, I can never remember her name. She's the new backstage interviewer.
Not Devin.
Yeah.
I don't even care anymore. They go by so fast.
I know, it's unfortunate. But she asks Shinsuke, what can we expect from his and Austin Aries match next week at Takeover? And Shinsuke says, I think that Austin Aries will bow down to the King of Strong Style. I love Shinsuke promos. They're so funny. But our first match would be Ty Dillinger taking on
Buddy Murphy.
That's right, he loses a tag team partner, but he gains his first name back.
Gosh.
And these two have a fantastic match.
How does Cesaro get Antonio back?
He has to go back down to NXT.
Oh. I'd actually be okay with that.
No, great match between these two. Ty Dillinger now being able to actually be a babyface, since he's going against a real heel.
Yeah.
Which is good for him because he gets to play up the fact that everyone loves the 10 thing. It's awesome. Murphy finds himself in a 10-punch scenario, and
it's more like 100 punch.
Yes, Ty Dillinger is going for 91 or 90 through 100, and Buddy's actually able to get out. But then Ty Dillinger ends up hitting a massive super kick, which backs Buddy back into the corner. Gets up, hits the final 10 punches. One punch. And then he ends up pulling both of his knee pads down and hits a fireman's carry into a neck breaker. Apparently that is
on the knee.
He's not doing the rotating, the half backstabber thing that he was doing. He's doing that for his finish, which is good. And he picks up the win over Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, I think the old knee, almost like an overdrive sort of thing on the knee. I think that was better heel-ish.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah,
It's a more angry, aggressive move.
Yeah, definitely. Then we had the sit down between Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. Both of them just kind of. We had Corey Graves kind of running the thing, and he talked about the progression of where they were when they teamed up in the Dusty Classic, all the way up until this point now, where they're going to have their final encounter in a steel cage match for the NXT Championship. And there's a lot of really natural animosity between these two.
Yeah.
They play it up really well, in my opinion. But both of them have very serious demeanors, and they're able to play off of each other. Joe obviously being a bit more sarcastic in things that he says, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, you're such a great champion, but why did I have to jump through all these hoops to finally get the shot?" And so it was a good back and forth. If there wasn't enough tension already, they did a good job of building it more. And I appreciate when guys can do that, when they can make me actually feel like they hate each other. Our next match would be Austin Aries versus Elias Samson.
Man, that guy likes to lose a lot.
He does indeed. This was a really good match of his, though. He got to be extra physical with Austin Aries. He had a good moment where he had Austin Aries through the middle and top rope and yanked the arm, and his throat went into the top rope.
Yeah, it's not too often that Elias Samson is that much bigger than his opponents.
True, and Austin Aries is a very small dude, so yeah, he was able to use the size to his advantage. But Austin Aries came back with a ton of just devastating attacks as well, and he ends up picking up the win with the last Chancery, and then cuts a promo afterwards saying that he'll make it official at NXT TakeOver when he beats Nakamura, that he is the greatest in the ring, and the spotlight will go where it is supposed to go, and that is on Austin Aries. Then we had our main event match, the tag team match, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa taking on the Revival. Awesome match.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was down for this match.
You were hyped as soon as we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, and it did not disappoint.
No. Just natural chemistry from four very gifted athletes.
Yeah. And it's awesome to see a main event of this caliber put on by four guys who are on the smaller spectrum of the competitor size.
Oh, absolutely.
NXT,
yeah, Tommaso Ciampa
in general.
Tommaso Ciampa was the biggest guy in this match.
Yeah, he's definitely the tallest for sure.
Yeah. Probably doesn't weigh the most. I'd probably get that to Dawson.
Yeah.
Dawson's probably the heaviest. But yeah, like size-wise, Tommaso Ciampa was...
Yeah, you're talking about four guys who are pretty small on the NXT roster.
Well, yeah, taking into consideration that both Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are in the Cruiserweight Classic, and both Dawson and Dash are about the same size as Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very fast-paced, good technical wrestling, lots of physicality on both sides, great tag team work from both sides. The fact that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa make such a great tag team is awesome. And you put them against a well-oiled machine like the Revival just adds a lot of flavor to the match itself.
So it lent itself to a lot of great double team spots.
Yes.
A lot of great sequences with tags and getting in and out of the ring with people.
Yeah.
And just, a fantastic main event.
Yeah. And eventually we have Dash and Ciampa on the outside. And Dawson sets up and hits a big superplex on Johnny Gargano.
As big as you can get for two guys who suplex form are about as tall as Big Cass.
It's true. But they, after they land, Johnny's able to actually reach back with his legs and hook Dawson's legs and pick up the win over the number one contenders for the tag team titles.
So they're going to take their spot at TakeOver.
No, they are not. This does not sit well with the Revival. Johnny Gargano is done at this point. He got hit with a superplex, so he's in no way going to be any help at all. So Tommaso Ciampa then takes a 2-on-1 beatdown from both members of the Revival. They end up hitting the Shatter Machine, and then they try to go for their Indian Deathlock.
Stomp off the second rope.
Took out Cass, took out Enzo. American Alpha runs down, makes the save, and they will be having their tag team title match next week. But you can pretty much rest assured that Gargano and Ciampa are probably next in line.
Yeah, and that was very exciting.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say earlier, I didn't want to spoil if you hadn't seen it, which, I mean, you probably had already. The whole shtick where American Alpha had to come up and save Tommaso Ciampa.
Right.
Because he was about to get his leg obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
Was that earlier when they were talking, when Gargano and Ciampa were talking to the Revival, they mentioned, well, you couldn't beat American Alpha, and if you can't beat them, then you definitely couldn't beat us. Is them putting themselves above American Alpha?
I think the way he put it was, it wasn't that if you couldn't beat them, you can't beat us. It's you couldn't beat them, and we don't think that you could even beat us.
Yeah, but that's word for word what he said. Was that if you can't beat them, then you definitely can't beat us.
I think you might be misquoting.
I'll go back and watch.
Yeah. But regardless, I'm excited for the idea of American Alpha versus Gargano.
That's why American Alpha took so long getting to the ring.
They're like, well, let's see what these rookies can do.
Yeah. And they didn't come out until they thought that Ciampa was actually in danger of getting injured.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, they're gonna hurt. We want this match. Let's go save them.
Yeah.
So they did, and so Ciampa's knee is okay, and the Revival are extra pissed off going into their tag team title match next week. But we finished the night.
They're gonna be sad when they realize that they should have let Ciampa get injured, because it hurts when he knees them in the head.
Yeah. So we finished the night off with the contract signing of the Women's Championship match between Nia Jax and Asuka. William Regal is kind of running through. It's Nia's kind of standing by while he talks to Asuka, saying, "You came to NXT 9 months ago, and you've run through and blah blah blah." He's saying stuff. Nia ends up pulling the microphone away from him and gets in Asuka's face, saying, "People have been running scared from you for the last few months, and I don't see why, because you're not that scary to me. Sure, you've kicked some girls in the head, but
That's not that impressive.
That's not impressive. You've never faced anyone like me." And so she gets real catty, and then she signs the contract, and Asuka says, if you're not scared of me, you should be. And then she signs it, and then they get in each other's face. Nia pushes Asuka. Then Asuka's like, okay, and then she starts doing her slap, punch, chop, back kick combo thing, and then she runs for a big kick, which Nia Jax catches and powerbombs Asuka in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be through the table, but it wasn't. So yeah, Nia Jax got the last laugh, so to speak, at the go home show to.
And then Regal's just like, please leave.
Don't
hurt me.
Don't powerbomb me. I just had neck surgery. So yeah, Nia Jax not messing around heading into this title match. So we'll be having some NXT predictions. Should we do them now, or should we do a separate small video? What do you want to do?
I mean, why not just get them out of the way, I suppose.
All right. Well, let's head over. I got the card.
I have it in my head.
Do you?
Yes.
Do it.
Because there's only 5 matches slated.
Yes, yes, there is only 5 matches.
Let's go with
notes and write down who we're going for here. Go for it.
What's his name? Andrade
Cien Almas.
Yes.
We're gonna make this a 2-pointer.
Well, according to my sources, he's going to be going against Elias Sampson.
Oh, well, that is who Thomas Wolfe picked for him to go against. I didn't know. My sources did not have anyone named as of yet.
Yeah. And that would be my pick anyways, because the guy likes to lose to new people.
That's true.
He is the... I don't know, who used to lose to the new people?
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger or...
Ty Dillinger lost to Apollo Crews.
Justin Gabriel did it for a minute.
Yeah, before he left, Justin Gabriel was the guy.
To lose to new people. So I think Elias Sampson is that guy.
All right.
He likes, losing to Nakamura and Aries.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be losing to the next new guy, and I think you're kind of dumb if you try to put your money on Elias Sampson.
Especially, he's going against the new guy. Why? Yeah. Why in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I think we're probably all 3 in it.
Yeah, we're all going to go for Andrade.
What about Nakamura versus Aries?
Nakamura?
With my hillbilly.
That's good. Well, Thomas Wolfe is going for Aries.
Oh, I'm going to go Nakamura.
Oh. I'm also going to go for Aries. I think, Shinsuke has had such fanfare, and I don't think a loss is going to hurt him. This is a must-need win for Austin Aries. So, but I mean, it's one of those things that could really go either way, and I'm so excited for this match regardless. It's going to be so good.
All right, tag team championship match. Revival trying to get the titles back from American Alpha.
Yeah. I think we're probably all in agreement here, unless you're...
The Revival.
Really? Come on. Are you willing to risk the point when you know? I'll say right now, me and Thomas are both going for American Alpha.
I'm wearing the shirt.
I know you are wearing the shirt. It is really cut.
What do I do?
For those of you listening to the podcast, he's talking to Paige.
Yeah, well, she gives good advice sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm going with my gut. I'm going with the Revival.
All right.
And by my gut, I mean it's because the shirt is on my torso region.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough.
It's sort of a pun. Because
hard.
The shirt, I wear it on my torso, which is where the gut is located.
Okay.
How about the Women's Championship of NXT? Asuka, undefeated champion, takes on the biggest female competitor on the WWE roster,
Indeed.
Nia Jax.
I'm going with Nia Jax. I think she's gonna pull an upset win.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Asuka just because I think it's just gonna be that. It's gonna be Asuka's going to do what Bayley couldn't do.
And actually beat Nia Jax.
And have a definitive win over Nia Jax.
And so you think that'll be the story going into when Bayley finally gets a rematch against Asuka? Alright, that's fair. Thomas is also going for Asuka.
And the main event.
Yes.
Or at least I would hope this would be the main event.
Well, it is a cage match.
The first ever cage match.
And it is
NXT
for the
history.
championship.
For the NXT Championship. Finn Balor takes on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe being the defending champion. If Samoa Joe would lose, he'd be like the shortest NXT Championship reign.
Yeah, which is why I don't think.
Which would be sort of sad because Sami Zayn's reign wasn't long either.
True.
He went from like Neville to Owens
yeah,
really fast.
Yeah, I mean at least his was from Takeover to Takeover. Joe won his at a house show.
Yeah.
And then like 4 weeks later loses it at Takeover. I'm going Joe.
Simply for that reason, I'm going Joe.
Yeah.
If Joe would have had a nice lengthier title reign, at least from TakeOver Dallas to now, I might go Balor.
Thomas is going Balor.
And my one thing is just like if Balor hits the double stomp off the top of the cage, there would be no coming back from that. Even if you're Samoa Joe.
Do you think he's going to attempt that?
Absolutely.
That's gonna fucking hurt. If he hits Joe, it's gonna hurt a lot.
Die.
If Joe moves, he's gonna break both of his fucking ankles. I'm saying it right now. That's gonna be a fucked up situation. No. It's bad.
But yeah, I'm going with Joe just because he's a very recent new champion.
Likewise.
I
think
it's gonna make that much sense.
Yeah. So we'll have those results and we'll see who wins the predictions.
I just want a guess. If it's not Elias Sampson in the opener, or might not be the opener, but if it's not Elias Sampson versus Andrade, who would you pick to be the guy?
I initially because when I looked at the card that I saw and there were question marks, I immediately went to Tito Sabatelli. Because I think he's one of those guys that's getting ready to get moved up, and I think this being his first show on NXT, you get a good heel name to go against someone like Andrade. You get someone that people kind of recognize if they watch Breaking Ground. He's a good muscly guy that looks like, oh yeah, I can beat up the ex-luchador guy, and then you have the high-flying guy beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. I would say that would be a decent choice, I think, if he was debuting not on a TakeOver. But I think being on a TakeOver, they're going to want to use an established person.
Okay.
And I think Tino Sabatelli is probably going to get his own build-up before he debuts on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
Being the guy who's already been a focal point on Breaking Ground.
I still don't like him. We saw him when he was here. I still don't like him.
He smiles too much.
He's a douche. Anyway, let's move on to Lucha Underground, where we had some pretty big stuff happen. We open up with a singles match between Son of Havoc and Daga, which is fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah, these guys are high-flying, risk-taking as fuck. AF.
AF. High-flying AF.
Yeah.
The interesting story in this match, though, is...
Yeah, the actual story portion.
Yeah, which is something that was just built a couple weeks ago. Cobra Moon is in love with Daga.
Yeah.
We don't know why. She just is. She made her way down about halfway through the match, ended up trying to get involved, and got knocked off of the apron.
Yeah, very hard by Son of Havoc.
Yeah. So... She never actually played...
But I kind of hope this is going where I think it's going to go.
Alright, well... Okay, here, we'll talk about the match, and I'll see where you think it's going. So, we end up getting a superplex set up that Son of Havoc is able to fight Daga off of. He hits the shooting star. Son of Havoc picks up the win, and then we have Cobra Moon groveling and grabbing at Daga.
Yeah, at first she was like cradling him, like she's trying to like...
And then she started like nuzzling his neck, and then it got weird.
And that started to freak him out a little bit.
And then Daga's like, "Now get the fuck off me!" And then he actually ended up like shoving her to the ground, and then she like grabbed her boob, and she's like, "Yeah, this is what I want." And it's really weird.
And then she's crawling after him.
Where do you think this is going?
Well, eventually, I just think that like sort of almost pseudo off the bat, I think Cueto's going to make an intergender tag match.
Oh, force the two of them to try and go...
have them go against Son of Havoc and Evilise.
Oh, okay. Since the fact they're still playing up the Angelico's injury thing. Okay. I'm okay with that.
You know, and you could even go as far as saying that like this could somewhere down the line lead to like a four corners match, where you could have
like Mundo and Taya.
Well, I was thinking you have because Mundo's in the trios championship trio. But I'm thinking you have Cobra Moon and Daga. You have Evilise and Son of Havoc. Put in Sexy Star and the Mac and Marty and Mariposa.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
Let's see what happens.
Four corners intergender tag team match. I'm so okay with that.
Only on Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
On TV.
Then we had a backstage segment where Rey Mysterio was doing some training in the back. Dragon Azteca Jr. is still consumed with the fact that he wants to confront Matanza for the death of the original Dragon Azteca. And Rey Mysterio says, "No, we have our trios title match tonight. Don't focus on this. We need to focus on our match."
And then Puma comes in. He's like, "Yeah, we have a match, and I need my partners to be in the right mind." And Ray's like, "Step off our shit, bro."
And he's like, "Well, you guys are my partners in the match later on, so this is my shit, bro." And Ray's like, "Yeah, you're right. We got a match.
Let's go do some shit."
And then they chilled out.
Then Ray looked like he was gonna punch something, and then he just punches the punching bag.
Yeah. So
because this was all a weird like 3/4 standing around a punching bag.
Yes, and so yeah, Matt Stryker referred to them as the modern day superheroes, which is cool. And they'd be taking on the 3-man mariachi band, 3MMB, as coined by Kevin Hawk, which I appreciate. So I'm gonna keep calling them that. They came out with bandanas.
The Bandana Club.
They came out with bandanas and sunglasses, and PJ Black was humping the air, something fierce.
Yeah, why not?
You know,
he just saw Taya over there, and it just started happening.
Well, he is a darewolf, you know.
Yeah, it's like the dogs. You know, they get too excited, they just hump the air.
Red Rocket.
They just start humping the air.
Anyway,
the side of the couch or something.
Once again, this is one of those matches that it's hard to talk about everything that happened. But we did have a
lot of hits to the ding ding.
We did. Well, that's towards the end. But we had the dives to the outside. We had the superplex.
Well, they had one early on when like it was PJ Black had Rey Mysterio like launched him up in the air and then whacked him while the referee was looking at the face corner.
So
Steve
passed out. He's been drinking too much.
So exciting.
So yeah, that kind of kicked it off. But then, crazy luchador stuff going all over the place. Taya ends up distracting the referee towards the end, which allows Johnny Mundo to kick Azteca in the nuts. Yeah. This pisses off both Rey Mysterio and Prince Puma. Prince Puma actually gets in the ring and tries to get in the face of Johnny Mundo. Referee's trying to back him up, like, hey, the match can't continue, don't do that. Puma's like, okay, cool. He turns towards the ropes like he's going to leave. Then he turns around and he hauls off and kicks Johnny Mundo in the nuts. Therefore, getting him and his team disqualified. So, 3-man mariachi band stays Trios champions.
Yeah,
then
Bandana Club wins.
then we get the face-off, and Mundo's like laughing, haha, you got yourself disqualified.
Haha, my balls.
You won't be champion. And then Puma goes for the super kick just to top things off. Mundo moves, and Puma gets all of Taya's face.
Yes,
and
like her entire face.
And Taya goes down like a sack of moldy tangerines, and both Rey Mysterio and Dragon Azteca are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Puma is fucking livid. He is losing his shit at this point. And
I just think this is going to turn into a trios balls kick match at Ultima Lucha.
Oh, God.
Is he getting eliminated by getting kicked in the balls?
Like Last Man Standing from getting kicked in the balls. It's just everyone just kicks each other in the balls constantly.
No, it's an elimination match where you're eliminated once you get kicked in the balls.
Oh. It's just going to be a lot of people running around holding their nuts. It'll be an awkward match to have at Ultima Lucha, but we'll see.
It'd be a great way to waste 10 minutes on a three-week spectacle.
So,
I'd watch it.
It's a testicle spectacle. Anyway, moving on. Dragon Azteca finds his way to the back, and he's outside of Matanza's cell. He's stopped from getting any closer by Black Lotus.
Matanza's grunty.
Yeah. Like, constantly.
He's a heavy breather.
If he had a mouth hole in that mask of his, he might have a less difficult time breathing.
Yeah.
But Azteca...
There's no AC in that cell.
Azteca is still wanting to kill Matanza because he killed Dragon Azteca. And Lotus is trying to stop him, and he's like, why are you protecting him? He killed your parents. And she's like, no, Dragon Azteca did. And Azteca Jr. is like, no, he wouldn't. You're stupid. And Lotus is like, am I? And then Azteca left, and then Lotus is like, what the fuck's going on here?
Lotus is like, wait, maybe I am.
Wait a second. You got some explaining to do, Matanza.
Can you talk? You use your words.
Then we went on to Matanza taking on the Gift of the Gods champion, Cage. Cage
trying to upgrade his belt.
Yes, Cage cashing in the Gift of the Gods for a shot at the Lucha Underground Championship.
He wins it again,
and holy crap, these two beat the fuck out of each other.
I just want to go right off the bat talking about the opening. Cage was just using straight up huge human lucha libre.
Yeah, no, this is something that we know Cage can do.
Throwing a quesadora arm drag and moonsault off the top rope.
Yeah, a head scissors. He hasn't done this until now, and watching him do it is just bizarre.
Yeah, well, there weren't a lot of other guys on the roster that Cage could pull that off with, I think.
Yeah, Martes is probably the only other person he could do it to.
Just because with Cage, how much momentum his body would create.
Yeah.
Running and trying to wheelbarrow onto somebody would probably knock most people over.
And yeah, Matanza's a heavy, real stout dude who's got a good center of gravity. So
looks a lot like Jeff Cobb.
A little bit, yeah. It'd be weird if that was his real name.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, these two, this was Matanza's best match by far. These two fucking killed it. Yeah. Did some great stuff on the outside.
Yeah, when they went to the outside, which was Cage's idea originally, he dove on him, and that's when he did the moonsault all the way from the top rope to the floor. And then all of a sudden, Matanza got the advantage and suplexed him about 8 times.
Yes, they did the gut wrench suplexes. Though Cage did get the running powerbomb against the guardrail on Matanza, which was good. So we find our way back.
Matanza went serial killer Lesnar on him.
Yeah, he did. So we find our way back into the ring, and then we get the German suplex tit for tat series here, where it's Cage got the first one, hit Matanza with a German suplex, and Matanza back rolls right onto his feet,
No
yells,
sells it.
comes back. He German suplexes Cage. Cage back rolls, gets up, yells, and we do about 4 apiece until finally Matanza throws a little swerve into his, and Cage is like, "Okay, I'm done. I can't back roll out of that one. That was too much movement for a German suplex, if you ask me." But then after hitting all
extra, that one hurt extra because of the more momentum.
Yes, Matanza did not hit a shooting star press.
No, he went for a moonsault headbutt.
Luckily,
which Cage got his knee up.
Yeah, on his face. It was bad. That was probably the only botch of the match, which is good.
It's like the only botch of the whole midweek.
That's true. And then
yeah.
Like,
I would say the one other thing that really impressed me was when Matanza grabbed Cage for his pump handle fall away slam.
Oh, he picked him up and like nothing.
He picked him up and like carried him all the way around the ring.
Yeah, no, like Cage didn't weigh a damn thing as far as Matanza was concerned.
I think it's really good that you don't see Matanza's facial expressions.
Because he's probably like...
Because I feel like he'd be making some ugly contorted faces under that mask.
Struggling a lot for that one. But Cage didn't go for Weapon X. He realized that all these big moves weren't doing anything, so he started going for a fast-paced, kick series, which was weird. It's not something that Cage usually does. When you see a big old jacked up dude hit a super kick, you're like, why are you hitting a super kick when you've got Weapon X?
Yeah.
So he hits the super kick, and then he goes off the ropes, only to get caught and hit with the Wrath of the Gods, and Matanza retains the Lucha Underground Championship. So, one hell of a match, but Matanza is still champion.
Was that my favorite spot, though? Might have been Cage went for the discus clothesline, and Matanza ducked, and Cage just kept spinning and came back around and hit him anyways.
That was good.
Called the boomerang clothesline or that helicopter dick clothesline.
Why'd you throw Dick in there?
I didn't. Why did you throw Dick in there?
Because he's a dick. That's it for the midweek wrap-up. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.
Share the video. Listen to the podcast if you don't want to watch the video. Check out the links down in the description. Taking all the different social medias we
check out the links in the prescriptions.
What? You get updates to videos. You get pictures on the Instagram. You get cool posts on the Facebook. You get sometimes retweets of weird stuff on Twitter. Tumblr, you always get updates for videos. Sometimes we share other people's stuff. You never know. But if you want to check out what else is happening this week, check out the playlist.
Email us.
You can do that too, but you should check out the playlist.
Also that.
Because that's got all the videos that's happened this week. All the usual stuff this week. We got a Raw review up there. We got this midweek wrap-up. SmackDown Rundown's coming up next. And after that, we got an indie news, which is probably going to be pretty short.
Yeah, this Raw review had a bit of a Chikara special note at the beginning.
Yes.
Like this midweek wrap-up has a predictions smushed inside.
It
like
does
a double
indeed.
stuffed Oreo.
It's a little surprise. But
Now
thanks again
Oreos.
for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Fuck Titus O'Neil.
He was on the midweek. That's right, he did the fucking US thing. Raw.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep saying fuck Titus O'Neil until that is done.
Say it
As long as it takes, fuck Titus O'Neil.
as long as it takes to fuck Titus O'Neil.
Absolutely. Out of winning the United States title.
That makes way more sense.